Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to hop on here. Last couple weeks, I've just been wrestling with some questions. And I'm pretty sure most people wrestle with this question, especially with their identity and with their purpose. Um, you know, we're in the world now where identity can mean anything, and it could be trigger points for a lot of different people. And so, You know, not that I struggle with that at all. What I mean by the cultural identity of, you know, thinking that you're a unicorn or a cat or a dog or whatever like that, or men and boys and men want to be women, women be, and all that stuff. That's not specifically what I'm talking about. However, this does correlate to that, and you can transpose this conversation into that because I think deep down, people who do struggle with that struggle who they really are or whose they really are. And so when they struggle with that, anything can come in and mess with their mindset on self-identifying as certain things because they're just reaching and they don't know who they are. And so if they don't know who they are, they start to create an identity or persona that anything they could want to become. So anyway, I don't want to go off sidetrack here because one of the things I've been just pondering, if you will, is because Lord, I was just asking the Lord. I said, Lord, what is it that we're supposed to be doing here on this earth? And I know sometimes when we can get stuck in the mundane or routine things every day, sometimes we feel like it doesn't go anywhere. Like we're just in this cycle pattern of maybe making money, paying bills, and that cycle can sometimes seem mundane. It could sometimes seem like um, it's just a trap that we're in, or it feels like what's the point? I should say it that way. Not necessarily a trap, but sometimes it's like you feel like, man, what's the point? I'm just going to work, paying the bills, going to work, coming home, paying the bills, going to work, So it just feels like this rat race, like unending thing. And so sometimes we feel like, well, what's the point of all this? Um, and so this morning I had this conversation with the Lord, and I was just like, Lord, what is this that I'm doing here? Because it feels like sometimes I'm just chasing a purpose. Sometimes I'm chasing an identity. And so the last couple of weeks, I've just been on this journey with the Lord. And honestly, uh, any journey is worthy of knowing where the beginning is, right? And so sometimes we start at the beginning, and sometimes we don't know where the journey is going to end. But sometimes we're already in the journey and don't realize we've been walking, and we don't know where the beginning of or what the beginning looked like. I should say it that way. Well, here's what I mean by that. We're man made in God's image, and so sometimes we need to start there. I should only say this, that we should always start there. That we're made in God's image. So if we're struggling to identify who we are, and what we're supposed to be doing here on this earth, we need to realize that we have a creator who created us for a specific purpose. And that's where I started my journey, is asking, Lord, what is it that you have us here? He goes, well, I created you. What did I do when I created you? So question and answer. So I went to Genesis. Lord, what is it that you did here for man? He goes, I made man in my image. Okay. I gave him rule and to have dominion over people. Not over people, over the earth. I give you rule and reign over the earth, over the animals that he created, right? To have dominion over them, to rule and reign. Okay. To be fruitful and to multiply. Be fruitful and multiply. So have a lot of kids and to be fruitful, whatever we do. Okay. So that was the beginning of that thought process. And then you kind of fast forward all the way through to to Jesus. Okay, so what did Jesus do? Because he ultimately set the example of what Adam screwed up, right? Because we know the whole story of Adam and Eve. I don't need to go through all that. You guys understand that Adam and Eve screwed up. They gave their authority over to the devil, Satan, that tempted them in the garden, and they gave it all up. And so Jesus set everything back in place. So what did Jesus do? So we just fast forward right to Jesus. Okay, what did Jesus do? He was a blueprint, right? He said he come to serve, not to be served, but to serve. Okay. So if we're to add those things together, just those couple things, that we're to be fruitful and to multiply, have dominion, What are we supposed to be fruitful in? It can't just be giving it, just it can't just be giving birth to many kids, or raising many kids. It can't be just that. To multiply what? To be fruitful in what? Jesus was the example. What did Jesus do? Did he come and give multiple births? No. And he wasn't even married. Okay, so he had 12 disciples. He came in, he was a blueprint. So he came to serve, not to be served. I find it interesting that my wife and I, we are part of this business, and one of the things that one of the coinage one of the things that was said in this company was that if you help enough people get what they want, then you'll get what you want ultimately. I said, okay, so just serve other people. Okay, so we understand that serving is in the deep desires of most people. Like when you boil it down, most people want to help other people. People want to help other people. That's the deep down desire, especially with people who want to make a lot of money. They typically say, "Lord, if you give me $1 million, I'll tithe most of that to a charity or whatever." But deep down, most people want to help other people. They want to help other people become get out of the stuff that they're in. So and it's interesting because when you boil that down to that, people just want to help other people. People have a deep desire to help other people. They want to help serve other people, whether that's serving in a soup kitchen, or that maybe that's giving money to the poor, or maybe helping somebody get out of the situation they were once in, whether they were drug addicts, alcoholics, if they're homeless, they have a deep desire to help that other people of that type to come out of their situation as well. So deep down, we do have a heart and a desire to help other people. And so when you have a desire to help other people, we have to know where that's come from. Jesus put that in our heart and a desire to help other people because he said he come to serve and not to be served. And so we feel like our heart and our desire is being fulfilled when we serve other people. Like how good do you feel when you're able to help somebody else, right? So when we're able to help other people, then we feel like this deep desire, like our deep desires are being fulfilled because we're helping other people. But to what end? Because we know that we're here for a specific purpose. God created us to have a specific purpose, to be fulfilled, to only be fulfilled by us. And so it's interesting that if we do that, then our heart's desire are being fulfilled. So where am I going with this? Okay, because sometimes we can get in the rut of growing up and having these desires, like, Lord, I just maybe not even recognizing Lord first. It's just like, hey, I want to make a lot of money to raise a family, blah blah blah, and that's all I want. But when people get that, sometimes they feel like, okay, now that I have it, now what? I have a family, I'm making a lot of money, but I'm still empty inside. And so they come to the end of themselves, and they're saying like, well, I feel better when I'm helping other people. So what I'm saying is sometimes we just don't realize that we're in what we have, but we sometimes we feel empty. And if we feel empty, there's only one thing that can help us fill that desire, which is to fulfill the purpose that God has given us. And if we don't know the Lord, and we don't know who we're created by, that God created us for a specific purpose, there cannot be a fulfilled purpose. There cannot be a fulfilled identity until we know who created us. Because our creator created us to have a specific purpose that needs to be fulfilled. And if all we desire is the riches of the world, or just having a family, or just having a job that pays well, then we're always going to feel empty, because once we have that and realize that that doesn't fulfill us, then we're stuck. We're stuck in this circle of like, okay, why am I here? Like, what am I doing? I feel like I'm on this rat wheel of just making money, paying the bills, making money, paying the bills, raising kids, and that's all it is. So we need to go back to the creator who created us. God, you created us to have dominion, to be fruitful, to be multiplied, to multiply and be fruitful. And that's what you created us for. And so we have to understand that once we identify that, what do we need to be fruitful in? What do we need to multiply? And that is simply this: love. Love others as God has loved us. Love others as God has loved us. What do you have specifically that you can multiply to give to others? Did God save you out of a place of drunkenness, of doing drugs? Were you hurt? Were you abandoned? Were you rejected? And did God help you out of that? So there's purpose in helping other people doing that, to pull people out. Did God put you in that place? No, He didn't put you in that place. However, helping other people out of that same place can help fill the void that's in you because you're fulfilling God's purpose. Not that you need to be a pastor, preacher, or an evangelist, or an apostolic. However, if that's your calling, then do that for sure. But that doesn't mean you have to do that to get God's grace or honor or love or respect to you, because God sees you, He knows you, He created you, and He wants to live through you and live with you to help other people so that way His kingdom is filled at the end. I know that sounds kind of like a very vague and very outstretching thing, but just know this, that you are loved, that you're accepted, and God wants you to know who you are, whose you are. You're His, and He's got great purposes for you. He's got great plans for you. All we have to do is trust Him and know that He's with us. And when we know that, then our heart's desire are fulfilled. They truly are. And so when you walk with Him, you're trusting Him in every moment of every day to fulfill what's in your heart's desire, which is to serve other people. To serve other people. To be fruitful and to multiply. If you struggle with that, just read the story of Jesus. Just read that in John, Matthew, Luke. Just read the Gospels, because in there you'll see what Jesus was doing. He was serving other people. He was helping other people. And in the midst of all that, He was showing other people how to do that. He had His 12 disciples around Him. He was teaching them. They were watching Him. And I'll say this as well, that people are watching you. If you're a believer, if you're raising kids, they're watching you. How do you handle every situation that you're in? Do you rage out, when somebody, pushes your buttons, triggers you? Do you rage out, or do you love? Do you show compassion? I'm guilty of it all. I rage out. Sometimes, it's just a fleshful reaction. However, the Lord says, live in the Spirit and trust the Spirit, even when you feel like you're being triggered. Even when somebody cuts you off. And so, most of you know what I'm talking about when that comes to that. But if we live by the Spirit, meaning Jesus set the example of how to live. If we follow those rules, and I say that loosely, but you know what I mean. But if you follow His commandments, to love others as you are being loved by God, have compassion, have joy, long suffering. Somebody cuts you off, you don't have to, have a knee jerk reaction of, I feel like you've been slighted and you need to, you know, get, redeem yourself by, maybe cutting them back off or whatever. Uh, just know that God is love, and He wants us to be full of love and to show love. He said, the people will know you because of the love that comes out of you. Yeah. God is good, man. Bless you guys. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope this is encouraging to you. Um, I just wanted you guys to know that, you guys are loved. God created you for a purpose. And so sometimes when you're trying to figure out what that purpose is and you don't feel like, well, what am I here for? Why am I on this planet? What am I here for? What am I doing? Am I just on a race? Am I just making money or trying to chase a dream? Am I chasing dreams to be fulfilled? And if I don't attain them, does my life have any purpose? Did it have any meaning? I just want to point you guys to Jesus. I just wanted to point you guys to the Word. Go back to Genesis, read that. Be fruitful, be fruitful, multiply, have dominion. Jesus set the blueprint. What did Jesus do? He come to serve, not to be served. It's not just about you, it's about the people around you, the people that you're impacting, the people that need love, that need especially as this world's getting darker and darker and darker. There needs to be somebody on the hill that's holding a light. That there's a different way of just, being selfish. people just looking out for themselves. There's a different way, and that different way is love, and that different way is helping others. Even when it's hard to help somebody else, even when somebody doesn't really want help, they don't, because they're so angry because something's happened to them in their life. They're just so angry. They're just so frustrated. Those people just need love. They just need somebody just to maybe vent to at first. They just need somebody that they can vent to. But they also need that person also needs love in a hearing ear to understand that person just needs Jesus, just like we all do. We all need Jesus. We all fall short. There's only one, right? That was perfect. But that one perfect one set a blueprint for us all to follow and to obtain the things that he was able to take. He said that we would do greater things than he would do. So what does that mean? Well, he set the example. What did he do? What was the main thing he did? He served other people. So like I was saying before, when we serve other people, we feel fulfilled. Have you ever went to a mission trip? Have you ever served at a soup kitchen? If you did, how great did you feel after that? You felt like you actually did something to help somebody else. When you maybe gave money to somebody that was poor, or maybe when you helped somebody get out of a situation. I mean, yeah, you probably felt great, right? So if we multiply in that, if we're fruitful in that, showing the examples of what Jesus did, if we're fruitful in that and we multiply that, there's when we start to feel like our life has meaning because we're impacting somebody else. Ultimately, that's what it is. We want to impact somebody else. We want to leave a name for ourselves, but we can't just leave a name for ourselves. We need to point people to Jesus. Like I said, it doesn't mean you need to be a pastor, you need to be an evangelist, you don't need to be an apostle, you don't need to be out there preaching. You don't need to do that. You just need to impact the person that's around you. Let the person who's around in your circle of influence know that they're loved, that they're accepted, that they have life and meaning as well. The people right next to you are struggling. You don't need to go to a foreign land to build a house. Although that's incredible if you do that. That's amazing. People need that, but don't feel like that's what you need to strive for. Help the person that's next to you. You know, love on that person. Smile at them. Just greet them. Sometimes we could just be in this world living up in all these silos that we're in, and no one's saying nothing. To nobody. No one's loving on each other. No one's encouraging anybody else anymore. But when we do enough of that, we feel like our life has meaning. Our life has a purpose. God has you there for a specific reason. He has us there for a light. I'm getting this visual right now in my mind. It's like, you guys ever been to a concert and all the lights go out and everybody's got their cell phone light on and they're just holding it up and the whole arena starts to illuminate because all these certain lights from a cell phone is illuminating the whole arena? That's essentially what God is doing right now. He wants us to shine our light so that way in this dark world that they see that there is hope, there is purpose, there is meaning. And when we let go of just trying to chase a dream or trying to chase a purpose, when our purpose is right in front of us, it's the people around us. Love and encourage somebody else today. Then your life will have purpose and meaning. All right, love you guys. I'm going to get off of here for right now, but I love you guys. Hope you guys are having a great day. Bless you guys. Hit the like, comment button below. Let me know what you guys are thinking. How have you guys been serving other people, or hopefully this has helped you guys. But anyway, I'll chat with you guys later. Bye for now.